It's time to wash the denim. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Tamlyn and this is Sewn on the Tyne, and welcome back to episode 3 in my Helen's Closet Spindrift making series. So in the last video I was talking about my thoughts around pre-washing the denim. So as a reminder, the fabric that you lovely viewers chose for me to use for my Spindrift is this incredible black and white denim from Rainbow Fabrics, and I was pondering, having thoughts around how to pre-wash it, and I got loads of amazing feedback on the last video with ideas on what I should do. So let's talk about my thoughts as a result of reading through some of those comments, and then I'll take you along on the washing process of the fabric. So just as sort of an overview, lots of you were saying definitely soak it first. Lots of you were saying to maybe use vinegar or salt in the soaking. Then lots of you were saying to use colour catchers in the wash. So in terms of the salt or the white wine vinegar, I did a little bit of research because I just wondered what that would actually do to the denim. Like, why was that suggested as a thing? Nobody explained that in the comments, but I just had a quick look online, and using either white wine vinegar or salt when you pre-soak the fabric, that really helps to soften the denim. It helps to preserve the colour and prevents the dye bleeding. So I definitely thought that that was something I should do because of the striking contrast between the two colours of this fabric. Yeah, that was my plan. So my plan was really to pre-soak the fabric, then to wash it with colour catchers. And yeah, you'll see a little bit later on in the video how I got on. But first of all, let's just address should we address why it's taken me so long to get this video up? I'll very briefly mention it because if you watch my channel regularly, if you follow me on Instagram, or if you know me in real life, you will know that we have a 4.5-year-old child who sleep is not the smoothest ride, and this week has been particularly difficult. So I've been at work 3 days this week, I've had my sewing social this week, I've had a couple of other things on. So then today, Friday, was my dedicated day to get everything done, loads of filming, loads of stuff. And I had to spend half of the day catching up on sleep. So, you know, this is the reason why it's taken me quite a few days to get back to you. It's just been a very up and down week. I've been very sleep deprived, and you just do what you have to do to get by. But I'm really glad to be back, and I'm really excited to talk through some of the lovely comments with you. So Liz said, if you've got enough, you could wash a small piece to check for colour fastness. I could have done that, and I think a couple of other people suggested that, but I didn't. I think because I didn't have spare time in the week, and then when it came to today, I just wanted to get on and wash it. So I didn't do that, but it was a great idea. And then I really like this comment. She said, I know it's hardly important, but I like it when you say A0 rather than AO. I used to say AO when we're talking about printing here, like pattern printing, it's paper size. I used to say AO, and then I thought about it and realised that actually the sizes of paper are numbers. So it's A1, A2, A3, A4, A5. So why was I saying AO? That didn't make sense. It's A0. So ever since then I've said A0, which I think is the correct way to say it. And I just love that Liz noticed that. So, but you know, if you say AO, each to their own, it's absolutely fine. I love this comment from Karen, who said, loving your new format and quick informal chats. It's helping me out of Vlogmas withdrawal. I love that comment because I find myself checking YouTube every single day, multiple times a day, for new videos, thinking that there's going to be the same amount of content that there was in December. And there's obviously not, because people aren't doing Vlogmas now. But yeah, I'm with you on that, Karen. I loved Vlogmas, and I'm definitely having a bit of withdrawal too. This was a really interesting comment that got me thinking, actually, from Liz. She said, question please, when measuring yourself for jackets, should you measure yourself in just your underwear as you would for a blouse or dress? Or would you wear a sweatshirt and jeans or whatever you intend wearing underneath? Not sure if advice is given in the packet for this. So I had a good read through the instructions. There's no advice given on that. I measured myself as I would for any other garment that I was sewing. So I measured myself not in clothes. That's how I always measure myself. And yeah, if anybody else has got thoughts on that, do let me know. I totally see where Liz is coming from, because you would never wear a jacket without anything underneath. But I believe, or I've never been told otherwise, that you just measure yourself as you would for any other garment sewing. But please correct me if I'm wrong and help us out, and I'm sure Liz would love to hear your answer too if you know differently. Sorry, I'm very aware that the lighting is terrible. It's actually 9:30 at night when I'm trying to film this and get it out to you, so apologies for that. Okay, Stella said, what about laying out your pattern pieces and allowing a wee bit extra, cut the length you need and wash with a couple of colour catchers. That way the fabric may be less bulky in your machine, so hopefully avoiding crease marks due to squished fabric. Great advice, and that was a thought that I'd already had. I had 3 meters of the fabric and I definitely knew I didn't need that amount. I think in the pattern instructions it said I needed 2.5 meters, but you will see in a few moments that I did decide to lay out my pattern pieces. I'm coming to you from the future, by the way, of this video, because today I've actually done the washing, so I know what happens, but you don't yet. So yes, I did actually lay out the fabric and lay out the patterns so I could cut a little bit more than the correct amount. So I wasn't putting the whole length of fabric into the washing machine. That'll definitely come in even more useful when it comes to doing my smiley denim. If you watched episode 1, then you will know that I had 2 fabric choices and one of them was smiley faces denim. I've actually got 5 meters of that fabric, so I definitely need to cut that down before I pre-wash it. Vicky said that she actually had the cow print denim from Fabric Godmother, so it was a brown and white, but she was going to wash it on a 30-degree wash with a colour catcher and then let me know how she got on. And she said the colour didn't run, there were no lines in the darker denim, and it came out perfectly, so that is great to know. Christy said, what is the weight of the cow denim? I think that might help me decide whether to use bias binding or just a serge. So there wasn't any weight on the fabric when I got this. Rainbow Fabrics, because they get so much of their fabric, or all of their fabric, is dead stock, they don't tend to have specific fabric weights and things on it. The descriptions tend to be a little bit more vague, because I guess they're not getting all of that information from a supplier as such. But just from my fabric knowledge, I work in a fabric shop and I've been sewing for a few years now, I would put this at a 10 ounce, possibly more. Might even be a little bit more, but yeah, it's definitely a minimum of a 10 ounce denim. So yeah, what are your thoughts on that then? In that case, would you serge or overlock your seams, or would you bind them? Do let me know. And then Natalie from the Seaside Sewist said, are you going to try and pattern match? And that was a firm no, Natalie. I feel like because the pattern is so abstract, as cow print is by its very nature, I just don't think I should even attempt to pattern match that. Do let me know though in the comments, would you try and pattern match this fabric? I just don't have time in my life to try and pattern match this fabric, so no, firm no. So I think now I will hand over to Past Me from earlier today, and I'll take you through the washing process for my denim. So as you can see, I've laid my fabric out, so I've folded it wrong sides together. The fabric is actually 160 centimetres wide, so it's a lovely wide fabric. I've got 3 meters of it, but what I've done is I've just laid out my pattern pieces quite roughly and measured how much fabric I need. Any gaps that you can see, it's where a piece needs to be repeated, so I need 4, for example, or like the yoke over here, I need 2 of those cut on the fold. So I've got all of my pattern pieces all the way down to here, which is hood and pocket. And that is coming out at 2 meters and 20 in total. So what I'm going to do is actually cut off my fabric at around 2 meters 40, just to give me a bit of wiggle room. And then that is the amount of fabric that I'm going to pre-wash. So in the bath, I've just sort of half filled it with cold water, and I've sprinkled some salt in there. I looked at a couple of comments on my last video and also did a little bit of research online, and salt or white wine vinegar was recommended. I don't have any white wine vinegar at home, so I've just sprinkled some table salt in. So let's pop the fabric in. Excuse the creaky floor in this bathroom. So, oh, that is really gold. I'm just going to really try and soak the denim and get all of that fabric submerged. Oh, that is freezing. Right, so it's all submerged in the water at the moment. Pretty much. And I'll keep popping back and just pushing it down a little bit more, but I'm just going to soak it for about 15 minutes, I think, not a really long time. And then I'll transfer it into the washing machine. So this has now been soaking for 15 minutes and it's lovely and soaked through, as you can see. And I'm going to transfer this to the washing machine. So I've got a big bag for life and I'm going to transfer it into the bag, take it downstairs, pop it in the washing machine, and I'll meet you back there. I can't show you me taking this out of the bath because I need 2 hands for it. So see you in a minute. So we meet at my washing machine. This all feels very odd, but you know, I'm taking you along for the journey. I did speak to quite a few of the lovely ladies at my sewing social on Wednesday, and they said they were fully invested in this process. So I'm taking you along for the ride. So in there I have my fabric, which is thoroughly soaked through. Soaking it first, I think, just helps to reduce the risk of getting those creases in when you wash it. So I'm going to pop in just a small amount of detergent, just a little bit here. This is the one I always use for our washing, which is just Persil Colour Protect. So just a little bit of that, and then I've got some colour catcher sheets. So I think I might pop a couple of those in actually, rather than just one, you know. It can't harm it, can it? So let's pop one, and let's pop another one in. And I think I'm going to pop it on this Rapid Care setting here for just 30 minutes. So let me remember how to do it there. 30 minutes. I'm going to keep it on 30. And I'm going to change the spin speed down to 400 just to have as little spin as possible. I want it to spin to get some of the wetness out, but I don't want it to spin too much. I know a couple of people in the comments recommended that, not having it on too high a spin cycle. So everybody keep your fingers crossed. We're going in. So it's the moment of truth. I'm on my kitchen floor and I'm about to have a look in the washing machine to see what has happened to the fabric. Let's see. Now it feels quite wet, obviously, because I put it on such a low spin, but so far so good. I just noticed a little red mark, but I think that must have been on there before. So far so good. I can't see any bleeding of colour. Yeah, looks good. Can't see any lines in the black. I think it's been a success. So if it was nice enough weather, I would now hang this out on the line to dry. As it happens, it is something like 2 degrees. It's very cold. I'm going to give this a good shake out and I'm going to hang it over my banister upstairs to dry. So what do you think? It seems to have been a successful way to do it. Sorry, it's very late in words. I'm struggling with words. But yeah, the washing process that I used seems to have been successful. Now, I was actually thinking, there's no way of me actually knowing whether if I'd have just washed it straight in the wash without doing the pre-soaking thing, whether that would have made any difference. It could have just come out exactly the same. You know, I didn't test 2 or 3 different ways of doing this. So I'm not saying that if you have denim, the way to do it is the way that I've done it. But for me, this way has worked. There's no running of the colours, they haven't bled at all. The colours still seem really vibrant in the denim. So I'm happy with what I've done. It wasn't too arduous. I didn't find it too difficult. The water was freezing. I should have perhaps worn like rubber gloves or used a tool, some sort of kitchen implement to push it into the water rather than my bare hands. But other than that, it all seemed to go really well, and the fabric is hanging to dry, and I'm hoping, because we've got our heating on, that by tomorrow that will be dry and I can give it a good old press and I can get cutting out my pattern, because I'm so desperate to get on to the sewing process. This is the reason why I've avoided doing projects with denim all this time. No, to be fair, if I wasn't doing all of the filming process and getting your feedback and things like that, it wouldn't be taking me so long. But I'm actually really enjoying doing it this way and involving you all and getting your suggestions and ideas. And I'm hoping that you are enjoying it too. You seem to be, from all of the feedback that I'm getting, so thank you so much. So one thing I did do this week, while I think I was sitting watching the football and I had my laptop out and I was desperately trying to find buttons for my jacket. So for the view that I am making, which is the hip length jacket with the hood, I need 12 buttons or snaps. And I had in my mind that I wanted matte black, just plain matte black snaps. So I tried to find them, and it does give a suggested size for them in the pattern. And I tried to find what I wanted. I searched, I Google searched, I did all sorts. I was finding things that were okay, but when I did find something, it tended to be in a pack of 10 and I needed 12, which was a little bit annoying. I didn't really want to buy 2 packs of 10 when I only needed 12. And then I thought I'll try looking for buttons instead, so like jeans buttons rather than snaps. I struggled with that. I thought maybe I should move away from just wanting the matte black, so I just started to look for black to open it up a little bit more. So yeah, it took me a good hour and a half to actually find something and order something. A couple of things did come up that I really liked, but they were in Hong Kong and I didn't really want to order from Hong Kong. I wanted to just be able to order something in the UK and for it to arrive reasonably quickly. So in the end, I ordered some black buttons from the trimming shop. So I've just brought up my order on the laptop and I ended up ordering 2 different types. They were actually in packs of 10, however, they were quite cheap. So the previous packs of 10 I'd been looking at were like £10–11 per pack, so it was going to be quite expensive. These packs of 10 were only £2.29 for a pack of 10, so buying 2 packs didn't seem too bad. But I've ordered 2 different types and I'm a little bit worried that they might literally be the same, but they were listed as 2 different things. I just thought I could use them on my smiley face jacket anyway. So the order in total ended up costing £9.16 and I've got 40 gunmetal jeans buttons on the way. Well, one is listed as jeans buttons hammer-on brass tack fasteners, and the other one is listed as 17mm plain gunmetal jeans buttons with pins. So who knows? We'll see when they arrive. They have been dispatched, so I will share them with you when they arrive. I'm hoping that I like them. The gunmetal looks very, very close to black, so I think that that is going to look quite cool against this fabric, hopefully. The other thing that I've been sorting out is my interfacing. So for the pattern, you need light to medium weight fusible interfacing. Now I always try and match my interfacing to the weight of the fabric, so I've gone for medium weight and I've gone for the incredible cotton woven interfacing, and I get mine from First for Fabrics. We do this in black and white, in light and medium weight, and it's been one of the most popular things that we've stocked in the last year, I would say, because it's so good. It's more fabricy than papery, like the cheap stuff that you can get, and it just works beautifully and fuses so well. So yes, that's what I will be using to interface my pieces as well. So that's where we're up to. I've definitely made some progress this week, maybe not as quickly as I would have liked to, but we've made some progress. So next time I speak to you, I guess I'll be sharing with you cutting out the pattern pieces and maybe doing the next step, which would be interfacing the pieces that need to be interfaced. So if you want to see sort of that process in detail, do you want me to film cutting out the fabric? Do you want me to film interfacing the pieces? Do let me know. I'm happy to do it, but yeah, not if it's going to bore you. I mean, I could speed those sections up. You don't need to watch me do it in real time. But yes, do let me know. The only other thing I wanted to mention before I shoot off, I want to go downstairs and watch some television with Sam. So I had a really lovely donation on my Ko-fi account from Kate, and she left me a really lovely message as well. So thank you so much, Kate. If you're watching this video, I really appreciated your kind donation, but also your really kind words too. So thank you so much everyone for watching and for waiting so patiently for update and episode number 3 to come out. I really appreciate your patience, and I look forward to seeing you hopefully in a couple of days. It's now the weekend, so Sam and I are both off work, and fingers crossed Taylor sleeps well and I can get back to you with another update in a couple of days. Happy sewing everyone. Bye.